For centuries, people have debated whether the Bible condemns wealth, praises it, or views it with suspicion. Some claim it teaches poverty is holy, while others use it to justify prosperity as a divine blessing. Yet when we dig deeper into the texts, both Old and New Testament, we find a much more nuanced and sophisticated philosophy about money, wealth, and abundance than most people realize. The Bible was not written as an economics textbook, but its principles on stewardship, generosity, and financial wisdom created a framework that has influenced civilizations for millennia. What if wealth in the Bible has always been misunderstood? What if the verses we often hear quoted, like, "Money is the root of all evil," are either taken out of context or missing their deeper meaning? Beneath the surface, biblical wisdom offers a surprisingly practical guide to creating, managing, and multiplying wealth in ways that ensure both personal stability and social responsibility. Let us explore 12 key insights into what the Bible really says about wealth and why these truths have been overlooked or misused for centuries. Before we continue, I wish to let you know that if you want to strategically leverage on ancient wealth wisdom to build and grow generational wealth, you can visit us at ancientwealthwisdom.com after watching this video to check out our best curated ancient wealth building wisdom resources. Or you can check the description and the first comment below for the link. Now to our video, what the Bible really says about wealth, misunderstood for centuries. 1. Wealth as a blessing and a test. In the Old Testament, wealth is often described as a blessing from God. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Solomon were all wealthy, and their prosperity was seen as a sign of divine favor. Yet wealth was never meant to be an end in itself. It came with a responsibility to use it wisely and righteously. At the same time, wealth was also portrayed as a test. In Deuteronomy 8, the Israelites are warned not to forget God when they become prosperous in the Promised Land. The temptation of wealth is not the possession of it, but the pride that often accompanies it. This shows that wealth can elevate people, but it can also blind them. Thus, the Bible does not condemn wealth itself. Instead, it frames it as both a gift and a trial, something that can reveal character and intentions depending on how it is managed. 2. The misunderstood verse, money and evil. Perhaps the most quoted verse about money is the root of all evil." But the actual verse in 1 Timothy chapter 6:10 reads, "The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil." This subtle difference changes everything. Money itself is not evil. The problem lies in elevating it above everything else. This misinterpretation has led to centuries of confusion. Entire traditions were built on the idea that to be poor is automatically to be holy, while others justified greed in the name of divine blessing. But the verse is actually warning about obsession, placing money as a god above relationships, morality, and faith. Seen correctly, the verse teaches balance. Wealth is neutral. It can be used for good or bad. The danger arises when love for money distorts values and decisions. 3. Stewardship, managing wealth wisely. A recurring theme in the Bible is stewardship. The idea that humans do not own wealth absolutely, but manage it on behalf of God. In the parable of the talents, Jesus describes servants entrusted with money. Those who invest and multiply it are rewarded, while the one who buries it out of fear is rebuked. This parable reveals that wealth is not meant to be hidden or wasted. Instead, it should be actively used, multiplied, and managed responsibly. The Master praises those who take risks to grow what they were given. In modern terms, this could be seen as an early endorsement of investing and productive use of capital. The Bible suggests that doing nothing with resources is actually irresponsible stewardship. 4. Generosity as true wealth. Proverbs 11:24 declares, "One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want." This paradox points to a spiritual law that generosity creates abundance. Far from diminishing wealth, giving multiplies it. The early Christian communities practiced this principle, pooling resources so that no one was left in need. This was not socialism by force, but generosity rooted in love and responsibility. The act of giving created social stability and strengthened relationships. Generosity in the Bible is not optional. It is the true measure of wealth. Money used selfishly shrinks in value, while money shared grows in both impact and legacy. 5. Warnings against exploitation. The Bible consistently condemns wealth gained through oppression or exploitation. In the book of Amos, wealthy elites are rebuked for trampling the poor while living in luxury. In James 5, employers who withhold wages are told their wealth will rot. This shows that while the Bible does not condemn wealth itself, it is deeply concerned with how wealth is obtained. Prosperity through injustice is not prosperity at all. It carries a spiritual curse. This principle remains timeless. Even today, businesses and individuals who exploit others eventually suffer collapse, either through public backlash, legal consequences, or personal ruin. The Bible recognized long ago that wealth without justice is unsustainable. 6. The danger of debt. Debt was treated with caution in the Bible. Proverbs 22:7 warns, "The borrower is servant to the lender." Ancient Israel had laws requiring debts to be forgiven every 7 years in a practice known as the sabbatical year. This reveals an advanced economic principle. Debt should not enslave people indefinitely. The system recognized that without boundaries, lending could destroy families and societies. By limiting debt, the Bible emphasized freedom and sustainability over endless interest and bondage. Modern financial systems thrive on debt, but the biblical approach reminds us to treat borrowing as a tool, not a trap. True wealth, according to Scripture, is freedom from enslavement to creditors. 7. Contentment over greed. Another key biblical theme is contentment. Ecclesiastes reminds us that whoever loves money never has enough. The endless pursuit of wealth creates anxiety and dissatisfaction, while learning to live with enough brings peace. Paul echoes this in the New Testament, saying he learned to be content in all circumstances, whether in abundance or in lack. This was not a rejection of wealth, but a rejection of the illusion that wealth alone brings happiness. Contentment is presented as a form of wealth in itself. When you are satisfied with what you have, you are rich in peace and freedom, regardless of the size of your bank account. 8. Wealth and legacy. The Bible frequently connects wealth with the idea of legacy. Proverbs 13:22 states, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." Wealth was not just for immediate consumption, but for building stability across generations. This inheritance was not purely financial. It included land, values, and traditions. By teaching stewardship and responsibility, parents ensured that wealth would strengthen the family for decades. In modern terms, this principle speaks to the importance of generational wealth planning, not just in money, but in wisdom, values, and ethical conduct. 9. The role of work in wealth creation. Work was central to wealth in the Bible. Adam was given the responsibility to cultivate the garden, and the book of Proverbs constantly praises diligence while condemning laziness. Work was not a curse, but a channel for purpose and prosperity. This emphasis on work framed wealth as the fruit of effort, not merely luck or inheritance. Even when blessings came, they required cultivation and maintenance. Thus, wealth was always tied to responsibility. The Bible suggests that true prosperity comes not from shortcuts, but from consistent labor, combined with wise management. 10. Warnings to the rich. Throughout Scripture, there are stern warnings to the wealthy not to grow arrogant or indifferent. Jesus famously said, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven." This was not a condemnation of wealth itself, but of the arrogance and detachment it often breeds. Riches can blind people to spiritual truths, making them dependent on money rather than God. These warnings remind us that wealth is powerful but dangerous. It amplifies both virtues and vices, depending on how it is used. 11. Wealth as a tool for justice. The prophets often framed wealth as a tool to create justice. Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Micah all condemned systems where wealth was hoarded by a few while the poor were neglected. Wealth, in their view, was meant to be redistributed in ways that preserved community. This was not about forced redistribution, but moral obligation. A wealthy landowner who hoarded grain while others starved was acting against divine principles. In this sense, the Bible sees wealth as a form of influence, meant to correct inequality and bring balance. Money, when aligned with justice, becomes a force for healing societies. 12. The true wealth beyond money. In conclusion, the Bible consistently reminds us that true wealth goes beyond money. Proverbs says wisdom is more valuable than silver and gold. Jesus taught that treasures in heaven outweigh treasures on earth, pointing to eternal values rather than temporary possessions. This is not a dismissal of material wealth, but a reminder of priorities. Money is fleeting, but wisdom, relationships, and spiritual integrity endure. In this way, the Bible elevates wealth into a holistic concept. Financial stability is important, but it is only one piece of a larger picture that includes justice, generosity, contentment, and legacy. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you found it insightful and helpful. And subscribe to this channel to continue discovering and learning ancient wisdom and secrets that you can leverage on to build generational wealth in today's world. Also, turn on the bell notification so you're always the first to be notified whenever a new video is uploaded here. And don't forget to visit us at ancientwealthwisdom.com to check out our best curated ancient wealth building secrets and wisdom resources. Or check the description and the first comment below for the link. See you in our other videos.